Hi, this is Ashley D'Angelo, MSW. I'm staying at Florence House Homeless Shelter, and I'm being abused, and I'm tired of it. I wish I could get the abuse staff fired. Look at these circles under my eyes. That is exhaustion. These abusive staff don't let me sleep. I'm a victim of forced labor. That's something that trackers do to exhaust victim. So they're tired all day, so they can't do much. But it's like -7 degrees outside, so I'm not gonna go outside today. It was too cold yesterday. But I want to talk to you about what it feels like to be the only homeless person here, and I'm surrounded by actors that are pretending homeless, walk around wearing gray. Women here and men, trans, walk around wearing gray. They think there's a gray area to rape. They're saying no free food or shelter, actually, but it doesn't apply to them. They're not being trapped here like me, and I have to sleep next to people that they force me to perform oral sex on, and that's sadism. Because I have a degree being manager with my BA in psychology, my MSW, my 7 years experience in human services, and I've been homeless for 5 years, surveying the conditions about how they treat the poor and homeless. So I talked about professionalizing the field. People with degrees in psychology and social work like me, I said, only them should be allowed to work in homeless shelters because these people don't care about my feelings at all. And they laugh at me and say, go away. And I'm on the waiting list for public housing. I've been homeless for 5 years, 3 years in this city, waiting for public housing. I applied when I first got back, and they're now telling me go away. They've ruined my kidneys in both homeless shelters, and they're not allowed to run my case saying go away. There's nowhere else to go. There's only two shelters. Well, there's three, but they won't let me stay at the third one. They're saying I'm not eligible, but I am. They call it a wellness shelter. So that's bad. Oh, they're allowed to be well there, but they're allowed to ruin my kidneys and the other ones. Um, I wake up with severe kidney pain, and that's what trackers do to try and force a victim into a nursing home. I'm 43 years old. I don't want to go live in a nursing home. So I'm hoping that some people will pray for me that my kidneys heal, so I don't have to keep waking up in the middle of the night. I'm going to go to the bathroom, and when I'm out in public, things going right through me and feeling pain when I have to urinate. Um, but it's very, very abusive that this country trapped me in a fake city where there's fake homeless that are actors, pretending homeless that don't need to be here, that just want to do sadistic things to me. There's apartments upstairs in this building, and there's people living in them that don't need them, that aren't really homeless. They said they're actors, and there's abusers that have been allowed to live out there. There was a man that came in here that mutilated my vagina, and they let him live in one of the apartments upstairs. The abusers get to control this homeless shelter. Aaron Cooper, Gretchen, and Tony, all traffickers, all child molesters, and they get to pick the staff. This is run by Preble Street. Their logo says love, but I'm not feeling the love. Um, I know it's very upsetting. So Medicaid for homeless shelters was my idea. I came up with new sources of tax revenue to fund homeless shelters, and all my work was plagiarized because no one let me use the library, a computer, phone. I was almost living outside, being refused shelter by both shelters. And I talked about professionalizing the field, and Medicaid was involved. They would hire people that I believe would be caring people. I consider this malpractice. There used to be malpractice in the medical field before they required degrees, and I consider this malpractice because I've been depressed and they don't care about me, and I keep wishing for death. I have no sense of community, no peer support. I studied community organizing when I was in school at UNE in the city, University of New England School of Social Work. As my second year internship was at Maine People's Alliance to learn about community organizing. I'm not around real homeless people, so how could I organize them? They're not. We're living under a different set of life conditions. They're not being abused like me, so they're not motivated to want to lobby on different things. They're not being abused like me. It's very difficult being the only person being abused in a building, and so I have no one I can really talk to, and I don't want to talk to them. I'm wearing gray. They said they use magic to trap me when I'm unconscious to force me to perform oral sex on these women and men that I sleep next to. It's uncomfortable how to sleep next to rapists. It's because I'm a socialist, so I'm being punished for that because I talk about using government tax dollars to fund programs like this. But I talked about how little comes from a taxpayer to me. It's fractions of a penny. It's a piece of a penny. It's not even 1 penny that I get from you, the taxpayer. because there's billions of people in this country. I found out, I asked an economic person, I said, how much does a person pay in taxes that goes off the poor a year when they pay their taxes? And he said 10 cents a year. I said, how's that possible? And he says, because there's billions of people. So I said, I want to make it $1 a year. That's a 90% increase from 10 cents to $1. And I said that would pay for all the things poor need, including homeless shelters. And people said that professionalizing the field will cost too much money. But I said that it costs too much not doing it because people are depressed. I found out that they're tracking the poor homeless men too, making them suck dicks when they're unconscious. And many of them turn to substances because they're so depressed at their situation that they're being treated. And I asked God, I said, how many of them kill themselves? Because I tried to kill myself. And God said 40%. I was like, this is preventable. I want them to hire people that are kind, caring, compassionate people like me that, pursued those degrees in those fields because they want to help people and they understand someone's psychology and wouldn't do things that will push someone towards suicide. But then the abusers want to show me there's bad people with degrees. They had some people working here that had degrees, and one of them was a cover. She was an extreme trafficker, but she had a degree in psychology. I said, well, she shouldn't have been allowed to get that degree. They should have screened their candidates better and asked them certain questions like, do you think it's gay in traffic? And if so, then not let them pursue that degree because they're supposed to care about someone's psycho health, not use and abuse them. Supposed to be human rights activists. And the NASW Code of Ethics that I studied in school, 2011 at UNE, the booklet said social workers are supposed to be against the abuse of the poor. So I'm disappointed in NASW that they don't care about me, that on their website they put great. And they think it's okay to trap people. I was like, they're supposed to care about people's psychological health. A bunch of them become therapists. I studied policy at uni. My focus was running programs and lobbying. I was interested in that, and I wanted to learn about grassroots organizing too. So they have me around people that are homeless so I don't get to organize them. They're not being abused like me. If I was in another city where there's real homeless people, then I can meet with them and have discussions and possibly, refer them to organizations like Unite the Poor so we could organize the poor and try and make the system better. So I know it's been very discouraging. My ID was stolen from me, so I was trapped in this abuse city. And I finally got a new ID, but on the waiting list for public housing, so I'm waiting for that. But I wish they would bring real homeless to the city so I could meet with them and talk with them. They had refugees from another country that were homeless, but I don't speak their language, so I wasn't able to really talk with them. But I know that this city built another homeless shelter on Riverside, and they're going to move a bunch of homeless people there in March. So I don't know if they're going to move the refugees there. But the conditions of the refugees are living under are very bad. I feel sorry for them. Catholic Charities used to help refugees in the city and don't feel like they're being very attentive to them. Might not be connected to them. But I know that Catholic Charities does good work in other cities with the housing first model, building housing for unemployed people with substance use problems and getting them in housing, which is great. I'd like to see them do that in more cities. I wish there was a presence like that in this city. So I feel very abandoned. So I connect with other homeless people online. So I've contacted Invisible People. I'd like to connect with other homeless people online and talk to them about their experiences. I know there's other victims tracking. I'm having a hard time finding them. So I'm trying to connect with people to chat online and talk about our experiences, what it's like being homeless and being trapped. These people that don't believe in charity, I'd like more Christians to work in the field of homelessness. I was raised Christian, and I said, if you don't believe in charity, they shouldn't be working in this field. So they make money abusing homeless, trafficking them. I'm trying to make that against the law. So I contacted Homeless Law in DC, but they said contact your local legal, but they don't want to help. They're all colluding with each other, and I don't think it's gay to child because it's not happening now. They don't know what it feels like being used and abused. I even contacted the Supreme Court on Twitter. I found him on Twitter. I communicate with all kinds of people on Twitter. People laugh, but I was like, you get access to people on there that you wouldn't have access to otherwise. I said they're violating my rights to choose who I have sex with. It embarrassed me. So, people don't invite me to meetings. It's very sad. So, I don't know. Today will be a day I stay inside and read, and I'm going to try and stay abreast of what's going on in homelessness. Makes me sad that I don't get to sleep near other real homeless people. I did when I was in DC, but then they got rid of them. They paid them to leave the city, and then they brought actors, victim of SWAT, and they make fun of me. Makes me sad because I'm very serious about trying to help the poor. I studied poverty in school because I wanted help. So I'd like to be a part of helping. Makes me sad I don't get invited to the meetings, and all my work gets plagiarized verbatim. The abusers follow me around 24 hours a day using magic to do invisibility, and they read my mind, and they memorize everything I talk about and go and do all the initiatives that I want to do that make life better for the poor. So I'm hoping that people can check out my YouTube and hear what it's like to be Ashley, and I'm hoping to connect with other victims of trafficking that have been homeless like me. Thank you.